The entire mansion went silent, not because someone shouted, not because something broke, but because someone did the unthinkable. In the center of the grand living room, under the sparkling gold chandelier, Miss Mirabelle, the billionaire's famous fiancée, raised her hand high and sharp, ready to slap another maid like she always did. Everyone froze. The cooks, the cleaners, the guards near the door. Even the butler stopped breathing for a moment. They all knew what was coming. Mirabelle always slapped someone when she was angry. And today she was very angry. But something strange happened. A hand caught her wrist. Not softly, not fearfully, but firmly like a small tree refusing to bend in a storm. It was the new maid, Chimamanda, Manda. A quiet girl. A girl who came only 2 days ago. A girl nobody expected to even lift her eyes, let alone hold the billionaire fiancé's hand in front of everyone. But here she was, holding Mirabelle's raised hand, refusing to let it fall. Every worker gasped. What? What do you think you're doing? Mirabelle shouted, shocked and shaking in disbelief. But Manda didn't let go. Her hand stayed strong. Her eyes stayed calm. And then, unknown to everyone, the billionaire himself, Obinna, stood just outside the hallway, returning from the bathroom. He stopped walking. He heard the noise. He turned his head slowly. Then he saw it. His fiancée trying to slap a maid, and the maid stopping her. Obinna didn't move. He didn't speak. He just watched, his heart beating faster because something inside him finally woke up. And the next words Mirabelle shouted shook the entire house. Let go of me. I said, let go now. But Manda's grip did not move. That moment, that single moment, would change everything. And then a loud gasp echoed through the room because something even more shocking happened next. Mirabelle tried to pull her hand away, but she couldn't. Her face turned red. Her eyes widened. She struggled harder. Still nothing. Everyone stared at the new maid in disbelief. And from the hallway, Obinna whispered to himself, what? What kind of woman have I been planning to marry? And just as he stepped forward, someone else walked in behind him. Someone who wasn't supposed to be there. But before we get to who it was, we must go back to the very beginning. Because everything that happened in that living room started long before this moment, long before Manda ever stepped into the mansion. The story began 3 weeks earlier. Everyone in Abuja knew about Obinna Anderson, the young billionaire who owned Anderson Tech. People loved him because he was humble, gentle, and always helped the poor. But not many people loved his fiancée, Mirabelle Benson. She was beautiful, she was wealthy, she was famous, but she was also proud. Very, very proud. At the mansion, Mirabelle acted like she owned everything. Even though nothing there belonged to her. She shouted at workers, insulted them, and slapped them whenever she felt like it. And because they all needed the money, none of them dared to say a word. But Obinna never saw her true behavior. Whenever he was around, Mirabelle smiled, acted sweet, and pretended to be gentle. She fooled everyone outside the house, but not the people who walked inside. They saw everything, the bullying, the slaps, the wicked threats. Still, they endured it because they were earning enough to feed their families. Then, one Monday morning, the head housekeeper gathered everyone. We have a new maid joining us today, she said. Please be kind to her. The workers looked at each other. Another maid. She won't last. Mirabelle will chase her away like the others. But when the new maid entered, they were surprised. She was calm, quiet, soft-spoken, and something about her eyes looked strong, even though she wasn't trying to show it. Her name was Chimamanda, Manda, Wosu, and she came from a small village to work and send money home for her sick mother. Everyone liked her at once, but they also whispered warnings to her. Stay out of Miss Mirabelle's way. Don't talk when she's angry. If she wants to slap you, just accept it. Manda only nodded politely, but deep inside, she knew she wouldn't allow anyone to treat her like a rag. Still, she stayed quiet. She worked hard. She avoided trouble until the third day, when everything changed. It started with something simple. Mirabelle misplaced her diamond bracelet and began shouting at everyone. "Who touched my things? Who?" Workers scattered like scared birds. She stormed into the living room, screaming at the maids. She pushed one. She hit another on the shoulder. She insulted everyone. "Useless people, all of you." Then her eyes landed on Manda. "You, new girl, come here." Manda stepped forward slowly. "Did you touch my bracelet?" Mirabelle shouted in her face. "No, Ma," Manda said softly. Mirabelle's face twisted in anger. "You dare talk back to me?" Before anyone could blink, Mirabelle raised her hand to slap her. Everyone looked away, too scared to watch. But when the slap came down, it didn't land, because Manda's hand shot up and caught it. Firm, steady, unshaken. That was the moment the entire mansion froze. As Mirabelle struggled to free her wrist, shocked and embarrassed, something happened behind them all. The person who walked in behind Obinna, the one who witnessed everything, said loudly, "So this is how you treat people?" Everyone turned. Mirabelle's face dropped. Obinna's heart stopped because the voice belonged to someone who had the power to expose everything, and that person was the last person Mirabelle ever wanted to see. Standing beside Obinna with arms folded, eyebrows raised, was Mama Ifeoma, the woman who trained Mirabelle when she was younger. People said Mama Ifeoma was the only person Mirabelle feared. Not because she was wicked, no, but because Mama Ifeoma always told the truth without fear, even when Mirabelle hated hearing it. Mirabelle stuttered. Her voice suddenly small. But Mama Ifeoma didn't smile. She didn't blink. She just looked at Mirabelle, then at Manda, then back at Mirabelle again. "So this is who you have become," Mama Ifeoma said quietly. Her voice was soft, but it felt like thunder rolling through the room. The workers bowed their heads. Even Obinna looked shocked. Mirabelle finally yanked her hand free and stepped back, trying to regain her pride. This girl grabbed me first," she shouted, pointing at Manda. But Mama Ifeoma shook her head slowly. "I saw everything," she said. "And so did he." She tilted her head toward Obinna. Mirabelle's heart dropped like a stone. Obinna's eyes were cold, colder than anyone had ever seen. But he didn't speak yet. He simply stood there, looking at the woman he thought he would marry, the woman he thought he knew. "You promised me you had changed," Mama Ifeoma said. "You promised me you were working on your attitude." Mirabelle swallowed hard. I am," she said quickly. "Mama, you know I'm trying," she added. But Mama Ifeoma lifted a hand to silence her. "Trying by slapping workers, by insulting everyone, by embarrassing yourself in front of your future husband." The workers lowered their eyes again. Some felt pity for Mirabelle. Others felt she finally deserved this moment. Manda quietly stepped away, hands folded, eyes down. She didn't want trouble. She only wanted respect. But Mirabelle wasn't done. She pointed at Manda again. "This girl disrespected me. Why is everyone defending her? She's just a maid." That statement made the air change. Slowly, Obinna's eyes lifted. "No one in this house is just anything," he said. Mirabelle looked at him, stunned. But he wasn't finished. "Everyone here has a family. Everyone here has feelings. Everyone here works hard, and every one of them deserves respect." Mirabelle blinked fast. At that moment, Mr. Benson, Mirabelle's father, stepped into the mansion with heavy footsteps. He was tall, dark-skinned, elderly, with strong shoulders and tired eyes. Sweat rolled down his forehead as if he had rushed to get there. His face carried something more than anger. It carried fear. Real fear. The workers bowed quietly. Mama Ifeoma stepped aside. Obinna stood firm, waiting. Mirabelle's whole body froze. "Daddy," she whispered. Mr. Benson didn't look at her first. He looked straight at Obinna. "Sir, I know you don't want trouble today," he said with a trembling voice. "But we must talk immediately." Obinna frowned. "What is going on?" Mr. Benson swallowed hard and turned to his daughter. "Mirabelle, why didn't you tell him?" Mirabelle shook her head fast. She stepped backward. Her voice cracked. "Daddy, no. Not here. Not now. Please don't." But he ignored her. "Why didn't you tell him the truth?" he asked again, louder this time. Everyone looked at Mirabelle. Her lips trembled so much she couldn't speak. Obinna stepped closer to her father. "Tell me what?" he asked calmly. Mr. Benson sighed deeply. The kind of sigh a man gives when he is tired of hiding. "It's about her past, sir," he said. Mirabelle covered her mouth. "No, no, Daddy, please." But the words were already rising in his throat. Words that could destroy everything she had built. Words she had spent years hiding from the world. "You may not have meant to kill her," Mr. Benson said, "but you meant to hurt her. You meant to shame her. You meant to make her feel small." Mirabelle fell to her knees on the marble floor. Tears streamed down her face. "I didn't know she would fall. I didn't know she would hit her head. I didn't know," she whispered. The workers stood frozen. Some covered their mouths. Some turned their faces away. Manda felt her eyes burn with tears, too. But Obinna stood like a statue, staring at the woman he had once loved. The woman he had planned to marry. The woman he thought was kind. "How could you hide this from me?" he asked, his voice shaking. Mirabelle sobbed. "I was scared. If I told you, you would leave me." Obinna's hands clenched. "You should have told me," he said. "Instead, you kept hurting more people." Mirabelle crawled toward him, grabbing the hem of his shirt. "Obinna, I love you. Please, please forgive me. I'm different now." But her words echoed through a room filled with witnesses who knew she wasn't different. "Not yet. Not truly," Obinna said. He stepped back from her touch. "I need time to think." Before he could turn away, Mr. Benson placed a shaking hand on Obinna's shoulder. "There is one more thing you must know," he said. Obinna turned sharply. "What thing?" The workers looked at each other in fear. Even Mama Ifeoma lifted her head, sensing danger. "Years ago, before she met you, Mirabelle caused a terrible problem in our town," Mr. Benson said. The workers exchanged looks. Obinna narrowed his eyes. "What kind of problem?" "There was a young girl who worked for us, just like this maid here," Mr. Benson said weakly, pointing toward Manda. Mirabelle shut her eyes tightly, shaking her head. "Daddy, don't. Daddy, please." But he went on. "One day, my daughter accused the girl of stealing her jewelry. Just like today," she shouted. She slapped her. She punished her in front of everyone. Obinna's heart dropped. The workers murmured. Mama Ifeoma closed her eyes. "But that wasn't the end," Mr. Benson continued. "The girl, she didn't survive it." The room went dead silent. Mirabelle gasped for air like she had been stabbed. "No, no, Daddy, you said we should never talk about it." Manda stepped forward without meaning to. "You mean, the girl died?" Mr. Benson nodded slowly, tears gathering in his eyes. "She collapsed while trying to run away from your beating. We rushed her to the hospital, but she didn't make it." Obinna's body stiffened. He stared at Mirabel in total disbelief. "Is this true?" he whispered. Mirabel opened her mouth to speak, but her voice was gone. Her knees buckled. Mama Ifeoma looked at her with pain in her eyes. "Mirabel, is this why you fear being corrected?" Mirabel finally screamed, "I was only 17. I didn't mean to hurt her." But her father shook his head. "You may not have meant to kill her, but you meant to hurt her. And now you must face the consequences." The workers held their breath. Mande felt her chest tighten. Obinna stood still, staring at the woman he had planned to marry. "How could you hide this from me?" he asked again, voice shaking. Mirabel sobbed. "I was scared. If I told you, you would leave me. Please forgive me, Obinna. I love you." Obinna closed his eyes, wishing he could say she was lying. Wishing he could say she didn't deserve to face her past. But the truth was too heavy. Another loud knock shook the house. Boom! 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 The guard peeked outside, then quickly slammed the door. He is very angry, sir. He says he must see Mirabel now." Mirabel collapsed on the floor, crying loudly. No, he found me. Obinna stepped forward calmly. "Let him in." The entire room gasped. Mirabel screamed in terror and grabbed Obinna's trousers. "No, please. Obinna. He will kill me. Don't let him in." But Obinna gently removed her hands. "He deserves to speak his truth," he said. "And you must finally face what happened." Mirabel's tears fell harder. "Obinna, if you love me." Obinna shook his head. "That's the problem, Mirabel. I love the woman who never showed me who she truly was." Mirabel fell back, chest heaving with sobs. Mama Ifeoma rested a hand on Obinna's shoulder. "You are doing the right thing," she whispered. Mr. Benson covered his face with his hands, wishing this moment had never come. Obinna nodded at the guard. "Open the gate." The guard hesitated, then obeyed. The gate swung open slowly. A tall man stepped in. He walked with heavy, angry steps toward the entrance. When he reached the living room doorway, he stopped. His eyes landed on Mirabel immediately, and the room felt colder. Mirabel gasped. "Samuel, please." But Samuel didn't blink. His voice came out low and sharp. "So, it's true. You moved to the city, became rich, and thought you could hide from me." Mirabel covered her mouth. Samuel stepped fully into the room. The workers stepped back, frightened. Even Mr. Benson trembled, but Obinna stood strong. "You must be the billionaire," Samuel said. "I am Obinna Anderson," he nodded calmly. "My sister used to talk about kind people," Samuel said quietly. "I wonder what she would say about you now." Mirabel began to shake even harder. Samuel took another step forward. "Do you know how many nights I cried? How many jobs I lost because I was too angry to think? How many times I wished I could bring my sister back but couldn't?" Mirabel burst into tears. "Samuel, I'm sorry. I swear I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kill her." Samuel's face hardened. "You didn't mean to kill her, but you meant to hurt her, and you did. My sister was gentle. She never fought anyone. She only wanted to earn money to help our sick mother." Manda wiped tears from her eyes. Mama Ifeoma looked away. Samuel continued, "She cried to me every night. She told me how you shouted at her, slapped her, embarrassed her in front of guests. But the day you blamed her for stealing, she ran, because she was scared." Mirabel dropped her head in shame. And when she fell, Samuel's voice cracked slightly, her head hit the ground so hard, she never woke up again. Mirabel began sobbing uncontrollably. "I didn't know she would fall. I didn't know." But Samuel's voice was steady. "You slapped her before she ran. Everyone flinched. Mirabel covered her ears. The whole mansion felt the weight of the past falling on them like a dark cloud. Obinna stepped between Samoa and Mirabel. "Are you here for revenge?" he asked quietly. "Yes," Samoa said. "I am here for justice." Mirabel screamed and crawled backward. "No, please. I'll do anything. I'll pay you." But Samoa suddenly closed his eyes and breathed deeply. When he opened them again, sadness replaced the raw anger. "I didn't come to hurt you," he said softly. "I came so you would finally admit what you did." Mirabel froze. "I came so you stop pretending you are perfect," Samoa continued. Her tears slowed. "I came to let go," he said. "Because carrying anger for years has been killing me slowly. I came to release the truth and release myself." Everyone looked shocked. Even Obinna lowered his guard. Then Samoa turned to Mirabel. "She must face consequences," he said. Mirabel shook her head violently. "No, please don't let anything happen to me." Samoa stepped closer. "The police case was never closed. My family wasn't strong enough to fight then, but I am strong enough now. She must answer for my sister." Mirabel fainted. Her body fell limp on the floor. Obinna rushed forward to catch her. But just as he touched her arm, something fell out of her pocket. A small black phone. The screen lit up on the floor. A message was displayed, from a secret number. Obinna's eyes widened. The text read, "Is he suspecting anything yet? We must move before he finds the papers." Samoa frowned. "Mama Ifioma gasped. Mr. Benson staggered backward. Mirabel, half conscious, whispered in fear, "Obinna, don't read it." But it was too late. The next line appeared. "Remember, once you marry him, everything becomes yours." Obinna's chest twisted. His breath stopped. His hands trembled. Mirabel's secret was far bigger than anyone imagined. Obinna slowly turned to her. His voice quiet, deadly quiet. "Clarify, what exactly were you planning to take from me?" Mirabel's eyes shot wide open in terror. She grabbed his arm desperately. But before she could speak, a second message popped up. Plan B. If he tries to cancel the wedding, use the recording. Obinna's heart dropped. A recording? Of what? Mirabel whispered, trembling, "Obinna, please forgive me." The mansion held its breath. Obinna unlocked the phone. His finger hovered over the audio file, Plan B, wedding backup. Everyone watched. Everyone waited. He pressed play. A voice filled the room, Mirabel's voice, laughing softly. "Once I marry Obinna, everything is mine. His properties, his shares, if he ever tries to leave me, I have the recording of his mother's hospital visit. That would destroy him. Obinna's sweet late mother." Mirabel screamed and covered her ears. "No, no. Stop it. Obinna, please don't listen." But it was too late. The recording ended. The truth stood naked in the room. Mirabel was exposed completely, not just as someone who hurt the poor, not just as someone who caused the death, but as someone who wanted to destroy a good man's life for wealth. Obinna closed his eyes tightly. For the first time since all this began, he cried. Not loudly, not angrily, just quiet tears rolling down his cheeks. Manda stepped forward gently. "Sir. I'm so sorry," she whispered. He nodded without speaking. Mirabel crawled toward Obinna, grabbing his feet. "Obinna, please, please forgive me. I was scared of being poor again. I didn't mean to hurt you. Please. I love you." Obinna finally spoke, his voice steady. "Mirabel, love doesn't destroy. Love doesn't lie. Love doesn't use recordings to control someone." She shook her head desperately. "Please, don't leave me. Obinna slowly knelt in front of her. Everyone held their breath. I am cancelling the wedding, he said softly. Mirabel let out a heartbreaking scream. No. Obinna continued calmly. I forgive you, but I cannot marry you. You have to face the consequences of everything you have done. Samoa stepped forward. I will take her to the police, he said quietly. She must answer for my sister. Mirabel looked at Obinna with trembling eyes. You're letting them arrest me. Obinna didn't blink. You weren't scared to hurt others. Now you must be brave enough to face the truth. Mirabel sobbed so hard she could barely breathe. Slowly, she nodded. I understand, she whispered. The guards gently lifted her to her feet. Samoa sighed deeply. For the first time in years, his heart felt lighter. As Mirabel was taken outside, she looked back at Obinna one last time. I really did love you, she whispered with cracked lips. Obinna nodded sadly. And I wish you had shown that love through kindness, not control. Then the doors closed behind her. A heavy silence filled the room. Mr. Benson wiped his eyes. I'm sorry, Obinna. I failed as a father. Obinna placed a hand on his shoulder gently. You are not the one who caused this. We all must face our choices. Mama Ifioma stepped forward. You handled this like a true man with a clean heart, she said proudly. Obinna gave a small, tired smile. Then his eyes drifted toward Manda, the girl who had unknowingly changed everything. The girl who stood firm when everyone else bowed in fear. The girl who held Mirabel's hand not to fight, but to stop the fight. He walked toward her. Manda, he said softly, you saved this household today. Manda shook her head. No, sir. I only did what was right. Obinna smiled warmly. That, he said, is why you made a difference. The workers nodded in agreement. Some even clapped. For the first time in a very long time, the mansion felt alive. There was peace. There was relief. There was hope. Over the next few hours, the police came. Mirabel gave her statement. Samoa finally got justice for his sister. Mr. Benson promised to rebuild his life honestly. Mama Ifioma prayed for everyone. And Obinna stood outside the mansion, breathing the evening air. He felt free. He felt lighter. He felt grateful. When Manda walked past him, he stopped her gently. You know, he said, you remind me of someone my mother used to describe. Manda blinked. Who, sir? Obinna smiled softly. She always said, a good person is not the one who never makes noise, but the one who stands for the truth, even when their voice shakes. Manda blushed and looked away shyly. You helped me see the truth today. And because of you, I can start again. The wind blew gently. The mansion felt peaceful. And as the sun set, Obinna said one final line, a line that ended everything beautifully. Thank you, Manda. You made a difference just by being brave. Manda smiled a soft, honest smile. For the first time, everything ended well. Everything ended with truth. Everything ended with peace. Did you enjoy this story? Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Please stay with us. We have another beautiful story coming your way. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know where are you watching from.